drawing identical lines or like the same line again and again and again is like extremely complicated. There's a lot of ways you could practice to do it, but like that's like just considering a line with like the same thickness, like not even considering line weight. Now, the thing is, it's really hard to get the same thing, like symmetry, again and again and again, because personally, I've had some luck with it, but the challenge of it is, you kind of have to like practice that one thing again and again and again. Like, you do a painful amount of practice until you can confidently do it again. And as I have been thinking about it, I kind of realized that it's one of those things that you just gain after drawing for years and years and years, and it's extremely discouraging for new people to draw, or for people who are new to drawing, because like you're not going to get it initially, and it's just like it could be very depressing. Because I remember when I was doing certain drawing courses, I couldn't do the same thing, and I always felt like the instructors were kind of saying, you have this and this and this issue. But when I did Drawbox, I think it was a lot more acceptable. So if you were to approach identical lines, or you're trying to like mimic something, one, I would say look at a reference image of some sort. I wish I had a shape on me. Let me pull up a shape, okay? I'm going to, I'm using this program that I made. It's free. It's called Thumbtastic. Observing a lot of reference and drawing from it is going to be your key. I mean, it's not really a secret to doing this. It's more just a tip. But I've seen other people, like, I don't know where I saw this, but what they would try to do, and it's just for forward symmetry, like you would draw a line on like one layer, straight line, and you would, let's say at first, before we try to draw the egg, which I still can't do perfectly, let's say we were trying to draw like a circle, right? Well, I just made a big mistake here. I wanted to start from over here. You wanted to do that, but the thing is, it's not perfect. You could try to encapsulate it within a plane, but personally, I want to try. I was off. But there's a lot of competing factors when you're trying to do something like this. One, however you draw your body is, or your hand, shoulder, hopefully your shoulder, always try to draw with your shoulder. But when you're trying to draw something like symmetrical, your body is used to drawing from like one specific direction or like in one motion, and when you lack drawing confidence, it could be really difficult to get it when you're trying to do the mirroring motion. So I guess this exercise is more for like mirroring. It's still not good, but it's a lot better than when I first started. I don't do this exercise a lot, but if it does make you feel better, in general, the things that most people draw, they don't focus on like symmetrical things. They mostly focus on, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that depends on the person, but like a lot of stuff that I've seen, when you're focusing on like the 3D nature of something, you don't always have to worry about getting something like mirrored perfectly. I mean, if I wanted something mirrored perfectly, I could just, I could copy it. I could like just copy it, move it, do a flip with it, and then like put it together there, and there I have it. I have the symmetrical thing, or the identical mirrored thing. Like, some people will do that. If you want to be able to draw it on yourself, you definitely can. but it's very important to accept that you may have a different drawing motion. So I'll show you an example, because like normally when I draw like from away towards myself. So like when I draw a line, I feel the most comfortable with doing it that way compared to like doing it that way. I don't know why. It's just something that like I kind of adopted. And so like a motion like that is kind of painful for me. The other issue here is I feel like when I do that, I can't always see 100% where my landing area is. So in general, what I would do is I would do that. And I was a little off. Let me try that again. And I was close enough. But like that was more comfortable for me. So you also have to think about the angle that you approach a given drawing from, and make sure you're like comfortable with it. So if I'm doing that, maybe a good idea for you is to mirror the motion as close as the one that makes you the most comfortable. Like I felt comfortable doing this type of line, even though it's greatly off, but it feels a lot more comfortable than like doing this. But I can still do it, and I think it's probably important for me to step outside of my comfort zone when I'm trying to do something like that. But I gotta be honest with you, if you're drawing a circle more often than not, you're better just doing a lot of practice and trying to execute it all in one swing. So I covered that. You know, another thing is drawing the identical line. Now when I say identical line, that is like you're matching not only the length of it, but you're also trying to match the line quality. So if you look right here, I'm going to draw like a thick line or like a thin line getting thicker, right? So I want to make that exact identical line next to it. I'm a little off here. But I'm a lot closer. Like there are some issues right here and I could see it. But like I have to say, years ago, I couldn't accomplish that at all. It was one of those things that like no matter how hard I tried, every time I would try to spit out something similar to what I did last time, it was just completely off. I mean, I'm no pro yet, but like that's a massive improvement over what I've done in the past. And it's just so... it feels kind of good. Oops, I just spit all over my tablet. Oh, that is awful. Okay. But sorry. But I'm just saying, it feels so good to even get a line similar to that. I do want to tell you that to get to that point, it took a lot of practice, and I still have to do a lot of practice every day to get somewhere even remotely close to that. But yeah, there's like starting thin and putting more pressure on to get a thicker line. You could also go hard initially and then light. Like I find it more difficult to end lighter. I don't know why, but like I always mess it up. But the other thing is, it's a matter of practice. So even if you're a pro, I would say that whatever you approach that you want to draw, you may have to like bang out a little bit of like a practice session before you do it, depending on your drawing confidence. It's just kind of the way things work. So we talked about like lines and trying to mirror shapes. The other thing is trying to draw identical shapes again and again and again of the same exact size again and again and again. And this is something that I don't think I'm going to get 100% right. But you can kind of mirror it if you want to, and you could even like use a little bit of a guide. Nothing says you have to do it all. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than my previous skill level. But okay, the last thing I want to touch upon is this egg here. My god, this egg, like everyone jokes about how hard it is to shade an egg. I still can't really draw an egg. Granted, I really haven't practiced it. It's not perfect, but I will get there one day. The other thing is, I think eggs are an extremely good exercise to draw from. A lot of people who are like first-time shaders in painting, I think they practice an egg. It's known for being like one of the hardest exercises to do, right next to drawing a cup of water or a glass of water. And I think it provides a really good practice session that I think everyone should do. Because the thing is, eggs are not like perfect ovals. They kind of like taper towards the top ever so slightly. And it's actually interesting. I believe the purpose of it is for the eggs to not roll out of the nest, but roll back in. They kind of roll in a conical shape rather than like a ball would down the stairs. So it prevents less falling out of a nest. If you do want to look at, like, there are other birds that have eggs that are like a lot more conical. They're really cool. That poor bird though, but I guess they could handle it. But that was a tangent that I went on that I wasn't expecting to. But yeah, there's some bird eggs that are kind of like that, I believe. I'm not doing it justice, but I think they're more like that. And this is a dangerous thing I'm doing because I'm not using reference for those eggs, but I just generally kind of remember the shape. I'm just drawing that to kind of give the idea. Like, no, it's a lot more round than that. I wish I knew the bird that laid it, but it was something weird. I don't know. It was probably from like a Galapagos Island study. I'm not doing it justice, but it's a good exercise. Like, I would say if you if you really wanted to do a good exercise, collect a whole bunch of images of eggs and like spend an afternoon drawing nothing but eggs. Like, trust me, it's like hard, but you can do it. And I'm pretty sure that I'd be a lot better now if I did it every day, but I don't. You get better at what you draw, and you atrophy at what you don't draw every day. There's a million things to draw, so don't stress about it. No, that's actually not that bad of a one. But yeah, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I hope you can take away that it's all a matter of practice to get to that confidence level. And even when you're at that level, you'll probably still run into things you're not 100% confident with drawing, but all it takes is meaningful practice and maybe a cup of coffee to get to that point. But yeah, thank you for listening. If you have a question, please ask in the comments. If you like what I do, please subscribe to my channel. But yeah, thank you. Have a great day, night, evening, whatever time you're watching this. Bye.